Good anytime, my fuzzies, to a quick review of a game I just finished. All opinions in this video are mine and mine alone, so just please enjoy and don't take them too seriously. Thank you. Good anytime, my fuzzyites, and welcome to a quick review. As always, I rate these reviews for now from 1 to 5, 1 being that it kind of completely... 1 being it completely crashed, failed at what it was trying to do. It just did not connect at all and should be a lot better. 3 usually meaning it's passable. It had a job to do. I felt like it did that job, but just just did the basic job, got it out there and whatnot. And then there's 5, which is it took what needed to happen in a certain category and really blew it to the moon. Really made me like mind boggled on it and just really took what could have been basic and uplifted it. So, without further ado, let's go story. It's kind of hard to judge this because the story is a lot. It's the movie, the Toy Story movie. I like how they have the cutscenes, more of the dialogue screens where it tells you the story and what's going on and the ebbs and flow of it. And it's really good. It's entertaining, and I enjoy it. They did add in some new parts, like Buzz going to sleep and having the dream, Rex and him escaping and everything. So it did take the basic story and did add some more stuff to it to elongate it a bit, but I felt like in a natural way. It didn't really... It's not like other games where it's like, oh yeah, here's Spider-Man in Spider-Man 1. Oh, look at that. Now we introduce this character that is not in this game, was not in any of the movies, but we're going to add them in there just to have some more stuff, which isn't a bad thing. But there are some times where they have other missions where it's like, why? Why bother? But story, I'm going to give it a 4. It took the movie, it did the movie, and then it added some of its own flavors to it that made it pretty well-rounded. It had character dialogue talking back and forth and whatnot. So yeah, overall, 4 out of 5 for story. Just a bit more than basic, but not really mind-blowing. Characters, again, it's not only is it the Toy Story movie, again, but it also has only a few of the characters that talk and do stuff and whatnot. But the characters that are there, talk and do stuff, are well explained to what they're doing, motives and whatnot, between them saying stuff and the narrator, I guess, saying stuff. It did come across. You understood how they felt about things, what they wanted, etc., etc. But I'm only going to give it I'll give it a 4. Because they are good characters, but yeah, give it a 4. Now the settings are really interesting because there's, I don't even know how many, 15 to 20 different maps or levels to do. They are very quick, but they are very varied in what you do, from doing a race to helping toys escape or get put away, to escaping a house, to flying over vans. It really brought a lot. Like I said during the playthrough, if you watch that, it really did elevate, or it really did take what this movie could have just basically been. Hey, go left to right, collect these things, yada yada yada. That's all you have to do. But no, they took the levels and said, hey, what if this level was more? You have to do this and then go there. Well, what about this level? You're in a boss fight and you need to do this to do that, and so on and so forth. As I've also explained some of the levels. So they did a really good job, and it really did flow with the movie. Nothing felt like they just threw it, kind of did with the one claw machine mission where you're trying to save them. But it felt genuinely like in there with purpose rather than just thrown in for just elongation. Everything was short, it was sweet, especially if you're invincible like I was for this playthrough. I should have mentioned yeah. They'll know. You'll know. It's my invincible playthrough. which doesn't really change anything at all, of my opinions, but yeah. But the stages were really well done. There were quite a few of them. They were really varied. And even though I think it only took me about an hour and hour and 20, hour and a half to beat, well, probably more around an hour because I did do a bit cheating, and then went into cheating because I didn't want to I couldn't skip levels. Yeah. So the levels were varied. They were very fun. Unfair as all hell for a lot of them, but that's kind of also unfortunately how a lot of the games were, with bad placement of enemies and whatnot. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 because it's really well done. They had a lot of good stages, but with the placement and stuff, I could see a lot of people just being done with it and not wanting to play. Because I'm sure, like I said, there's a few levels where, unless you're a master dodger, you're going to get hit 5 times in the first few seconds of the match. The controls, gameplay. Like I said, there was varied gameplay. I think all of them worked well. It's just placement of enemies and whatnot that didn't coincide with what you had to do and whatnot. But the gameplay was good. It was stellar. The lasso ability, where you could hook onto things, was kind of odd because you had to hit right where the circle thing was on his pull cord to use to grab onto stuff and swing and whatnot. But overall, I'm going to give it a 4 because it was kind of basic for what he could do, but you don't really see a lasso thing from someone's back often. Plus, like I said, there was the RC, with going back to levels, there was the RC car. We had to drive that, and it was kind of wonky, but that's how those cars are. There was some where you had to just run and go back and forth, and there was even some levels where you flew, and also went on a skateboard across an area. So I'd give it a 4. Basic, but little elevated from basic. So, anything else I want to bring up and talk about? No. The music was good, but I don't really like rating music because I have my own taste in music, and music is very diverse for a lot of people. Some people like it, some people hate it, but I enjoyed the music in this, but I'm not going to give it a rating. But it really did a good job in setting the mood. And then I could talk about... Same goes for talking about graphics, because I've played games that look terrible but really play well, and I played games that look well and are terrible. So graphics don't really matter to me. It's all subjective anyways for those graphics. Because these graphics were fine. I could tell what everything was. A little janky, but also that could be because I'm playing it not on the original TV and whatnot. But it looked well enough. I understood what I was looking at. It sounded great. So overall, I'm going to give the game... Oh, what did I say? Story was around 4, wasn't it? 3.5? I don't know. Overall, I'll give it a 4. Yeah. No, 4.5. Because the game took everything from Toy Story and elevated it to a level where there was a lot of good stuff in it, a lot of new stuff in it, and it was really well done, it was well put out, and it was well rounded with the levels you could do, how many levels you could do, and just, all in all, a really fun experience. But anyways, that's going to be it for me and Toy Story for the moment. If anyone cares, I'll probably play later a non-cheat version when I get another controller that has the select button working for the SNES, so I can skip levels. But until then, thank you all my Fuzzyites for watching, and have a good anytime. Take care.